Are we live yet? Can anyone see me? Am I here? Let me know. It says I am. Am I good? Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the wait on that one. Sorry if it's loud. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Would you like to see what's going on? Same spot as last year. Same exact spot as last year. So, welcome on in, everybody. I appreciate those super chats. I apologize. I'm probably not going to be able to get everything just because it is hectic. I will definitely, anything that I don't cover, I will cover after Talladega. Yes, Vikings dub. Very, very hectic indeed. I'm not even red because of sunburn. I'm just red because it was hot under here. Like, that's it. But thank you, Hunter Nixon, for the 5 years saying, hate it for Kyle Busch, but man, Kansas never disappoints with this car. I agree. And we'll talk about that. Marky Mark saying, press F to pay respects. Definitely. And Andrew Winslow saying, Ross the Boss wins. Is that his new nickname? I don't know. But let's talk about this race. Ross Chastain smashes the melon. Let me see if I can zoom in. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it that much. It's like right there, a little red next to that big black streak of rubber. Thank you, Jacob, for that. I appreciate it. But absolutely wild finish. He wins at the end over Byron. MTJ in third. Then after that, we got Blaney, Gibbs, Bowman, Bell, Hamlin, Elliott, and Zane Smith, the top 10. I gotta say, shout out to Spire today. Ran extremely well. All three cars up there. Haley at one point, I believe, now in the 7, running well too. Hocevar leading. They're going to be a threat next year, and you got to keep an eye on them. From there, Buescher, Dillon, Suarez, Logano, LaJoie in the 51. Top 15 finish today in his first race with Rick Ware Racing. Say what you want about Corey LaJoie. Good finish on his part. Preece and Bubba Wallace. Then after that, we got Noah Gragson. Kyle Busch with a 19th place run after what probably could have been a victory tonight. And here's where we get copyrighted. Hemrick with the top 20, Ty Dillon in 21st, then Keselowski, Burton, Briscoe, Reddick the top 25. Disastrous day for Kyle Larson with the 26th place run. So I'm just watching people go kind of nuts. SW, the most Kansas race ever. Yeah. And I think I saw up here Tyler McGonigal saying Byron is so close, fastest today. He's going to win. I'm telling you, like the eye test, it was Byron and Bowman. I was saying it on Wednesday night on the show. Byron and Bowman, do not underestimate them in this first round. Don't underestimate them the rest of the year. Bowman, this is his best round, I think, statistically to look at. Byron, he always turns it up at the end of the year. You can't underestimate these guys the rest of the way, plus Hendrick Power, too. From there, but Larson, 26th place finish. Thank God he had that points buffer. That would have hurt him had he not had that. Gilliland, Stenhouse, McDowell, John Hunter, the top 30. Then Kaz Grala, Hocevar, 32nd. Those are your lead lap finishers. Lap down for Haley in 33rd. Then 4 down for Cindric and Jones, 33rd or 34th, 35th. Johnson, 10 laps down. Dude has no luck in his return to NASCAR. I don't know what deal with the devil he had to make for that 15-year span, but I hope it was worth it. I mean, those championships, I hope they were worth it. Suarez 13th. At least that's what it says at the track here. Then after that, out of the race, 44, and I believe that's Yaley. I'll be honest, I've been so out of the loop with the starting grid and all that. I don't know if it was Yaley in the 44, so let me know. And then Barry out of the race early on in last, 38th. People throw in bottle caps, and we're finally got a little less there. And you can see, zoom out here, I'll show you pit road. Pace car there, pushing some of the cars back. And right in there, victory lane. Ross Chastain is celebrating right now. But by the way, I'm probably gonna miss most of the super chats after this. And you don't feel obligated to. As a kid throws bottle caps at me. I guess this is being an adult at a racetrack. I don't know. But yeah, don't feel obligated to do any of that, but I appreciate it. Christopher, let's go over the race here. Some of the big parts of it. Bell was the dominant guy today. That 20 car was the dominant car, dominant team out there. They looked fast for most of the day, just got behind when it came to hitting the wall, other things like that. That was his race to lose. Luckily, coming back to a 7th place finish, a solid finish in this. Really, I think, I think having a good recovery on top of course, having good stage points today, 6 points in the first stage. So not bad at all. But that's rough, man. I mean, those points, they can matter. But he's pretty clutch too. But he led early on. That lap 1 wreck really, I think, set the tone for a lot of guys. Elliott came back from that with a 9th place finish today. Good on him. Who won? Ross Chastain won today. If you're asking about me, I won. Skull. Vikings won today too, so I'm happy. Happy boy. But overall, first stage was kind of hectic. Larson got in the wall early. He had to try and get a recovery, didn't do so. As we're looking right now, he is 18 points in the 4th spot. Byron plus 34 in first, pretty solid gap heading into Talladega. Plus 28 for Blaney, good for him as well. Plus the same amount for Bell. Of course, like I said, Kyle Larson plus 18. Hamlin plus 11. Bowman plus 8. Needs to just keep those consistent runs going. He'll be just fine. From there, you got Elliott and Logano. Last one's in, plus 4 with a tie on that one. Reddick minus 4. It's pretty rough when you get shuffled back, can't get everything right like that. He's been consistent, but this was the track he needed to get points in. He needed to have a really good finish in this race. Talladega, he can be very good in. Road course can be very good in, but those are wild cards. Stupid stuff can happen to the best of them. I don't know what the hell happened over me, but somebody fell, I think. It's a NASCAR racer, probably drunk. Minus 14 for Suarez, still within a pretty good distance if you can have a good run at Talladega, and the Roval as well. 25 back for Briscoe, who I'm sure many of you are mad at. I want to see put number 8 if you think it was on Kyle Busch, 14 if you think it was on Chase Briscoe, for that incident of Kyle Busch spinning out of the lead. I can tell you right now, tons of people were leaving the stands when that happened. Kyle Busch, very popular today. I was genuinely surprised. I want to see what you think, because I'm a mile away from it, and it looked like Busch tried to squeeze into a hole that wasn't there. That's the way I saw it. Trust me, if I could put a pole, I would. But that's really what it looked like to me. But just a pretty terrible day overall for... I finally got the bottle cap the kid was throwing at me. It's now under my backpack. And I don't know what he's doing. I'm not going to put somebody on camera, though, in front of 400 people that isn't saying he should be. So, but I have a kid crawling under me. I don't know what's going on. I've been pelted with water bottle caps for the last 10 minutes. I don't know why, but I hope y'all are entertained with it. It's entertaining me. But 25 back for Briscoe and 29 back for Cindric. They're gonna I think they have to win, man. I think they're gonna really have to pull out a victory at Talladega, or have really good runs back to back. They can, but it's gonna be an uphill swing for both of them. Mark saying press T to throw a bottle cap at me. Yeah, and T's flying through the chat. Yeah, I don't know either. I keep getting pelted with water caps. Everyone's entertained. They're spamming T to hit me with a cap. I don't know, but it's amusing me. Oh no, all good. It's hectic here. Hell, we saw locusts before the race. I was thinking that I hope that's not an omen. But that first stage, Jones is in the wall as well. You could tell the handling was definitely off for a lot of these guys. And it was going to be a difficult day. Larson getting lapped even after different repairs and stuff like that. And you could see a lot of people in the stands just like, hope leaving at that point. Parents, parent your kids. But with the first stage, Byron ended up getting into the lead once the 20 was slowing into the wall, and he won the stage, which, again, he's going to need those points moving to the next round. He wins it over Logano, Blaney, those Penske guys turning it on at the end of the year, as they do, at least speed-wise, during the race. Hamlin and Bell, the top 5, Gibbs, Cindric, Truex, Bowman, and Hocevar. Hocevar, again, Carson Hocevar running top 10 in this race. I was really enjoying seeing that. And I know a lot of people don't like Hocevar. It's a hell of a talent. And I'm telling you, Spire, watch out for them. Next year, they're going to have at least one making enough points. Shane, thank you for the 5 here. Jimmy needs to get his cars from Lowe's again. These dollar store cars ain't cutting it. And a watermelon from Julian. Yeah, spam the watermelons. Take this out of context. Spam melons in the chat, for better or worse. Going to the second stage here, though, you had Byron leading again. Just a terrible day for Legacy. All 3 of their cars got caught up in incidents. Johnson right at the start. Eric Jones, they never could get it right. And then John Hunter Nemechek gets collected, too, in some incidents. Yeah, Jimmy needs to go Lowe's, get it fixed. There we go. Watermelon's flying. AC/DC playing. America, baby. As ironic as that is to say. But I mean, I took a ton of notes. You guys know I take notes for these. Wind flying still. Thank you, Helene, for that one. But going into the second stage, again, it was just guys brushing the wall. Kyle Busch, I have here, brushed the wall. 12 gets into the wall. The 20 does. I mean, it's just constant. Hemrick goes around. This is the kind of race I love to see. These hot tracks, slick tracks, handling being at a premium, being able to move around the track. Highline was, at least from what I could tell, dominant. But you could make moves in the middle, on the bottom. And to me, that's what I want to see in these races. That's what I want to see from these tracks. And I know I waited till the middle here to kind of ask it, but give me out of 10. 10 out of 10 being an awesome race. 1 out of 10, you were pissed off, didn't like it. I'll give it a 9. And maybe that's my in-person bias. But sorry, I can't tell if this guy running across the grass right now is Eric or not, because I was going to zoom in on the tall man if he's recording. But I'll give it a 9, man. I thought it was a really solid race overall. Hey, Dad, is that Eric? Or I can't tell. He was dressed the same in the grass over there. I don't want to put a camera on somebody if I don't know it's him. By the way, for those who watch the podcast, because we'll be live this weekend, I think on my channel, October 2nd, me and Eric did have that duel in pickleball, and we have video evidence for you. I can't zoom in enough. Sorry, y'all. But we did have it. It was fun, I will admit. I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. And really quick, I want to, before we go back into it, they're actually doing some repair here to one of the fences and the wall here. Little in-person stuff to show you. But yeah, so interesting. I didn't know they needed to make that. I think they're also collecting cameras off the fences as well. A lot of people still here. Up and down the grandstands. It was, I don't know how it looked on TV, but from here, it looked really, really solid. There were a ton of people in the fan zone. There were a ton of people at the tweet up. There were people all around here. The atmosphere was really good. Kansas is a must see in person. If you have the ability to go to any race next year, go to one of these races at Kansas, because they are 110% worth it in every single way. I cannot tell you enough how awesome it was to see that. It felt like one of those older 2000s races with the way that fans around here were. A lot of people, and I want to thank everybody who came up this past weekend. I want to thank all of you guys. It was awesome seeing you. I encourage it. You know, we had a bunch of people today all weekend. I cannot say enough. I love having y'all come up and just talking racing. You know, well, let's get into the end of the stage here. There was Cindric going around, another playoff guy having issues. At the same time, Elliott and Chastain rekindling an old rivalry. They had a lot of side-by-side hitting each other, I saw. And then the stage, after a restart, Bowman gets the lead. The 20 falls back. Not a good run of events for him. But Bowman wins stage number 2. And again, for Bowman, those are going to be crucial points moving forward. Only up 8 now, but he's been great at super speedways this year. He's awesome at the Roval, been really good at road courses. I have a lot of faith in Alex Bowman making this next round. I could be completely proven wrong. By the way, my camera, for those asking, my camera is red. I don't know what it is. It just keeps showing red. Like, I'm fine. I have all I've drank today was water. I don't know why my eyes look all red. Maybe it's the hat reflecting. I don't know. But Bowman wins it over Gibbs. Solid run for Ty Gibbs again today. Blaney gets third in the stage. Byron, Keselowski had a really good run, just not good restarts. Hocevar, top 10. Busch, Truex, Elliott, Briscoe. And just all around, man. No, man, I'm not fried. I'm telling you. Like, I might get a little pink, but I don't know what it is about my phone camera. Maybe it's I dropped it in some water this past week, so it's messed up or something, but get it fixed. But it was a wild one. Yeah, David Bell. It was a wild race. And going to the final stage, it didn't get any less. We had a long green flag run. We didn't have to get forced into overtime to have a fun finish. Sometimes I get some people being like, oh, it's disappointing after the greatest finish ever, technically 4 wide, closest finish in Cup history. But this race is exactly what you want to see out of a mile and a half. If you look back to the 550 days, you look back to, the worst of the Gen 6, sometimes even COT, it was not what we saw today. I thought what we saw today was solid, Kansas consistent. If this is the worst Kansas race that we get, then you know what? I'm fine with that. If this is the basement for these races here, I'm okay with it. And I will keep coming back. Update the horsepower. I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that. How's it going, Blue Jimmy? Good to see you, buddy. But getting to the final stage here, Hocevar had the lead for about 10 laps or so. For Chastain took it. Again, I cannot speak highly enough of Carson Hocevar. I know a lot of you guys don't like him. Maybe it's me talking to him, getting to meet him personally. Hell of a driver, hell of a personality. I cannot wait to see what he can do in an updated Spire team next year. Ross Chastain, though, and Kyle Busch, those two were the show for the majority of the final stage. Blaney, of course, with some issues, had a loose right rear, had to pit. I'm looking on the scoring pylon right now. Comes home to a 4th place run. And for many who were wondering about scoring pylons, we have one at Kansas. We have a scoring pylon. We won't at Talladega, but we'll have one at Kansas. But Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain just dueling back and forth, even through green flag pit stops for the good part of 40 to 50 laps. And Kyle Busch just working the one. And Chastain doing his best impression that he could of being Ryan Newman and just being a roadblock for anybody trying to pass him. It was a lot of fun. I get the dirty air is still an issue. That's the one thing that this car at Kansas and mile and a half needs to fix is dirty air. I'm not saying that I think it's absolutely perfect, but it's a lot better than what we had before, and I'm going to appreciate that. But once Kyle Busch got the lead, it was crazy. At least a quarter of the stands were up and cheering, and I was happy he was up front because he's been so bad this year. I wanted to see him actually run like Kyle Busch should. But it just is so weird to me that somebody who was there in 2008 watching him get booed at Chicagoland for winning, and being there the last 15, 20 so years at races, and Kyle Busch being one of the most unliked people, one of those disliked people. I guess the absence of success made the hearts grow fonder of him. The best way, that I've seen people put it. But it was just him and Chastain back and forth. And on that green flag run, it was not just them. I don't know if TV showed it or what, but you had probably a 6-car battle. The 19 was closing in, the 24, the 48, the 11. Hell, even Ty Gibbs was keeping up with the 11. It could have been a 6-car battle to the finish if that race went green. But Kyle Busch, he couldn't let 2024 Kyle Busch go away. And I wanted to ask you guys this, one, because I want to know, just in case maybe I was wrong with what I saw, but he got a little too aggressive there from what I could tell. Tried to force something. I mean, if you look at the replay, and they showed it on the screen, I guess it wasn't the greatest view for me, but it looked like the 14 held his line for the most part. And Busch just tried to squeeze it in there, and it just didn't work out. But he ends up spinning and runs top 10 a little bit in that final run, but that car just didn't have it in the dirty air either. So lap 236, that's when he goes around. Like I said, tons of people left the stands. And from there, it was a couple restarts, a couple different issues back and forth. You had the 19 leading early on, 6 in the 45 falling back in the restart, crashing the back. It's Hocevar, unfortunately for him. Good run, does not get the result it probably deserves. And the final restart with the 19, the one up front, Chastain got the lead. Byron got past Truex, and the rest, as they say, was history. Ross Chastain smashes the watermelon all over the start finish line. Let me see. Again, you can kind of see it right next to the big burnout mark there. That little red spot next to the white checker. That's what's left of the watermelon. And this is what we got. Still, I'm not alone here. There's still plenty of people. But people, clean up your trash. PSA. But there's my dad. Oh, sorry. There you are. But in better news, the pipes are, for the most part, stopped dripping. So there's that. But yeah, I had a ton of fun with this race. And I think that, again, going through the way the points are looking, how close it is at the cut, 11 points between the cut line and 5th, 14 between the cut line and 10th. Talladega coming up could give you 40-point swings, realistically. I think it could. You get caught up in an accident early, and some of those lower guys get some points. It's going to be hectic, I think. I think that we're probably going to have fuel mileage stuff come back next week. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I think that's something that's going to happen. I think the Toyotas are solid if they can get the numbers behind them, as long as they don't crash each other out. But it's Ford's race. Next week is a Ford race. Penske, I'm looking at Joey Logano. I'm looking at Ryan Blaney. Obviously, I think Cindric will be up there with them. I'm looking at the Stewart-Haas guys. I'm looking at non-playoff guys that are Fords. Ford is the manufacturer to beat next week. So that's my outlook there. We'll be live on Wednesday on my channel. Back in the studio next week for Dega. Triple header. Trucks are back. Friday night, got the trucks there. Xfinity on Saturday. Cup on Sunday. I cannot wait. And I appreciate you guys watching. How did LaJoy get 15th? Just stayed out of trouble. And there was a lot of shuffling, a lot of 4 or 5 wide racing on the restarts. And you get the best of that. That's 4 spots in 1 corner. But thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it a ton. And again, because I'm a moron and I don't know how to stream on my own phone, I will just show you the somewhat quiet track as we finish off here today. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. See you Wednesday.